This is my July reading wrap up. I read 10 books in July, which is definitely an uplift from June. I read 2 in June. My average time to finish a book, I think is lying actually, was 11 days. 11 days seems like quite a long time for me to finish a book, but the stats don't lie. I read all fiction in July and my top genres were romance, fantasy and young adult, which is kind of normal. I didn't read any bad books in July and I am absolutely terrible at rating things, so sorry, but I did not read a single bad book in July. I mean, I don't read a lot of bad books, but I really thoroughly enjoyed all the books that I read in July. But I have picked 4 favourites. One of my favourites, it's 2 books. It's not a series, they're standalones, but they are sister companion books to each other. And they are Tricia Levenseller's The Shadows Between Us and The Darkness Within Us. They follow 2 sisters who don't get on. Like I said, they are standalone stories. They are YA. The best way that I could describe them is these are monster romance without the monster other bits. Darkness Within Us, this is the Fairy Loot edition and it is absolutely stunning. I really enjoyed these. I absolutely ripped through them. It was a good time. The next was an audio. It was a listen along with Book Break and it was for The Spell Shop by Beth Durst. I loved this book when I read it. I loved it just as much, if not even more, doing the audio. It was a lot of fun. It was with a lovely group of people. I really enjoyed the discussion points on this one. The Spell Shop follows Keela, who is a librarian and looks after sacred spell books within the Empire. But when the Empire falls, does it fall? Keela escapes back to an island that her parents are from and where she grew up. Has to adjust to life living on a small island where everybody knows your business. I loved it. It is cozy fantasy with a little more high stakes than I'm used to, but I actually think cozy is a state of mind. Some of my favourite books I would say are cozy. Normally because they're cooking bread, but they've got very high stakes. This is beautiful. It is full of mystical creatures. It's got pining, it's got slow burn, found family and a sentient spider plant called Kaz, who has my entire heart. Thank you so much to Book Break and Pam Macmillan for having me on the listen along, and thank you also for sending me my copy of the book. Another one from Pam Macmillan and the Book Break team was Dishonestly Yours by Krista and Becca Ritchie. I read this right at the start of the month and I was on the book tour for this. I loved this book and I cannot wait for more. It follows a con artist family. There is found family in this. Best friend's brother, pining, oh so much pining. This is the perfect holiday read. If you haven't grabbed it already, go and grab it. And my last favourite is The Blackbird Oracle by Deborah Harkness. Picks up around 7 years after a discovery of witches, the All Souls trilogy. I think it could be read as a standalone, but it would make more sense if you read the original trilogy. You probably don't have to read Times Convert because that, again, I think is a companion book to the series. This was so good. I think it's always a risk when you revisit a series or you revisit a world many years after the original series. Oh, this was so good. This is very much Diana's story. Matthew is there as emotional and magical support. and Diana is called back home. Home being Ravenswood, the Proctor family home. So we're following Diana's father's story. We got a glimpse into some of the story around the Salem witch trials that the Proctors were very much involved in. I loved the family in this, and the family was not all that you thought it was going to be. There's some very interesting characters. This was a 5-star read for me, and I genuinely cannot wait for what Deborah Harkness does next. And that is my July reading wrap up. As always, if you enjoy these videos, please think about liking, commenting, subscribing, and take care of yourselves. Bye.